So this video is going to be about documenting the art restoration I'm doing on two sculptures in the East Boston Marina by Michael Alfano. Hello, I'm Maeve Hedstrom. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is kind of one of my first videos. I'm an artist and I'm a trained art conservator / art restorer, so I am going to answer a couple interview questions to introduce myself and then start the video. Yes, I did go to art school twice. I went to undergrad at Lesley University in Boston, or Cambridge, Massachusetts, for 4 years for fine arts, BFA. And then I did my MA, my Master's of Arts, at Northumbria University in England for conservation of fine art, specializing in paintings, restoration, and conservation. The best part of this project was, I think, when I did the final brush stroke and knew I was done and I could just call it a day, and it felt good. The worst part of this project was being told off by that random security guard at the marina. And I should get used to things like that happening in my career because people don't know. So it's always better to communicate and be open and have the right credentials. So this kind of ties in with the last question, but I think planning for the weather would be good because it was also really hot that day, awful, like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so it was sunny and hot and not the best conditions, but it's been raining nonstop lately, so it's just, there wasn't a great time to do this. And I didn't want to wait because people would be looking at this sculpture and not how it's supposed to look. So then something else I would do differently in the future is get direct permission from the artist, like contact the artist directly if they're still alive, and request permission to restore their art instead of going through a third party who contacted the artist. I think in restoration and conservation it's always important to consult the artwork's owner and the artist if the artist is alive. Just gonna lock up my bike. It's a little loud here. This is the marina in East Boston. This is where I'm going to be working on a sculpture over there. It's hard to see. So just walking through the parking lot to the sculpture. This is a really nice artsy area. There's a little cider shop there and some other cider shops over there. It's a cider. So that's where the sculptures are. So, welcome to my channel. Ignore all the creaking noises from the boats. This is the sculpture and this is the other part of the sculpture that I'm going to be working on. They're each half of a blue face by Michael Alfano. They're called Gates of Transcendence. So basically, somebody already patched up this eye. It was completely falling apart. And so somebody used apparently a very permanent adhesive paste and patched this up, and they actually did a great job in my opinion because it matches the other eye. But when they repainted it, it's hard to see because it's so bright today, there's a lot of exposure. The paint they used doesn't match the original paint color, it's a bit darker, but on a cloudy day it's very apparent that the color doesn't match. They also patched this little area here and painted it the same dark color. On a cloudy day it's a very high contrast difference. So I'm going to try to paint the original color and let it dry and so that it matches. And the other eye for reference, again in the shadow because today is a very sunny day, unfortunately. Just actually been waiting for a good day because it's been raining a lot lately. You can see here the color is a bit darker where they spray painted it. And this was just a few days ago. For reference, these sculptures have been out here for years. So this is kind of my first YouTube restoration video. I hope you enjoy. I'm just going to document the whole process from start to finish. So this is all the materials we'll need. Just going to mix up the right color and then do a tiny test with a tiny paintbrush and let it dry and see if it matches. It's not focusing on the paintbrush, but you see what I mean. Yeah. And obviously we're going to need water because it's acrylic paint. It's water-based. It's not water soluble, so when it dries it doesn't come off with water, which is a good thing for outdoor sculptures that are exposed to the elements. But mixing acrylic paint to match the right color is very difficult, so it's a learned skill I've practiced for a long time. Okay, so I finished mixing the color. I'm pretty sure this is going to be too light, but I'm just going to do a little test strip because acrylic always dries darker than it is when it's wet. So yeah, just gonna try this out. So there was a security guy who just came by and he said that I shouldn't be doing this, but I already got permission from the head of security and he's already contacted the artist. So anyway, this is a little bit too light, so I'm gonna go a little darker. It's already dried. I suspect that the artist used different colored paints throughout the whole sculpture, and that's why it appears different throughout the whole sculpture. But either that or because it's outside, the sun has faded it to different degrees, so it's changed the colors, which is going to be a little challenging. Okay, so I'm a little disheartened right now because I got booed at, and it's really hot today. It's like 80 degrees. Anyway, I think that color matches pretty well, so I'm gonna go ahead and cover up these areas that don't match. So I'm taking a little bit of water since it's very dry. I'm using a small brush because I only want to cover the areas that were already were painted the wrong color a few days ago. This is really satisfying. And I'm going to let the first coat dry and see if it matches well, and then possibly do another coat. So this is the area I repainted. It's mostly dry and I think it's matching quite well. When it's dry, I'm going to do another coat just over the area that I just painted so that I'm not covering up the original paint. Okay, I've done the second coat and it looks like it's matching. So I'm going to move on to this little area here that got repainted. Fix this. And now I'm going to move on to the other areas and just do a time-lapse video. I'm going to move on to the other sculptures. I'm going to put a little test paint on a small area and let it dry. This is next to where somebody repainted it, and just see if it dries the same color. I also noticed on the other sculpture while I was retouching that it looks like it's been repainted or restored several times in different areas, so I'm not the only one to restore it. Alright, that color matches, so I'm going to go ahead and fix the rest of it and do a time lapse. And then the last part is, of course, importantly, clean off your brushes, clean your hands, etc. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.